Hello, everyone. My name is Elena, and I am 33 years old. I never thought I would share my personal story with strangers, but sometimes telling the truth helps the heart breathe again. My life once looked simple and beautiful. I had a husband named Daniel and a daughter named Lina, who was 7 years old at the time everything changed. From the outside, we looked like a happy family. We laughed together, ate dinner together, and made plans for the future. I truly believed my marriage was strong because it was built on love and trust. Daniel and I had been together for 10 years. We met when we were young, before life became complicated. He was kind, patient, and funny. He helped me when I was struggling in school, and he supported me when Lina was born. I trusted him completely. I never checked his phone, never doubted his words, and never imagined that one moment could break everything we had built. One Friday evening, Daniel told me he was going to a birthday party for his best friend. I remember that night clearly because I was not feeling well. I had a headache and a slight fever, so I decided to stay home and rest. Daniel kissed my forehead before leaving and said he would come home late. I smiled and told him to enjoy the party. At that moment, nothing felt wrong. It was just another normal evening in our married life. What I did not know was that someone from Daniel's past would also be at that party. His former girlfriend, Maya, was there. Daniel never mentioned her. Maybe he thought it was not important. Maybe he wanted to avoid questions. Or maybe he already knew that telling me would make me uncomfortable. I will never know the real reason. The next morning felt strange from the moment I woke up. Daniel was already sitting in the kitchen. He looked tired and quiet, staring at his coffee without drinking it. Usually he greeted me with a smile, but that day he avoided my eyes. I felt a small fear growing inside me. Something was wrong. I asked him gently what had happened. He took a deep breath, as if he was preparing to jump into cold water. Then he said he needed to tell me something important. His voice was shaking. After a long silence, he finally confessed that he had kissed his ex-girlfriend at the party. He said he was drunk. He said she came close to him. He said it was only one kiss and that it meant nothing. For a moment, I could not understand his words. My mind refused to accept them. I asked him what he meant by "it just happened." Nothing in life simply happens without a choice. He repeated that it was a mistake and begged me to forgive him. Anger rushed through my body like fire. My chest felt tight and tears filled my eyes before I even realized I was crying. I shouted at him. I asked how could he betray me after 10 years together. I felt humiliated, broken, and deeply hurt. The man I trusted most in the world suddenly felt like a stranger. Without thinking, I told him to leave the house. The house belonged to me because I had bought it before we married. I packed his bag quickly, opened the front door, and told him to go. Daniel tried to speak, but I could not listen anymore. I needed silence. I needed space to breathe. He left slowly, looking back many times, but I closed the door. Our daughter, Lina, was staying with my parents that weekend. I felt relieved she was not there to witness our fight. Children should not carry the weight of adult mistakes. After Daniel left, my phone never stopped ringing. He called again and again. Messages appeared every few minutes. He apologized, said he loved me, and promised it would never happen again. I read some messages, but refused to answer. My heart was too wounded. Later that day, Daniel's mother called me. She spoke kindly but firmly, telling me that men sometimes make mistakes and that forgiveness keeps families together. She even shared her own story, explaining that her husband had once been unfaithful, but their marriage survived because she chose to stay. She encouraged me to think about Lina and her need for both parents. I listened respectfully, but inside I felt strong and clear. I told her that Lina could still have a father, but I did not want a husband who kissed another woman. For me, love without respect was not enough. Ending the call felt painful, yet also empowering. The following weeks were extremely difficult. I lived alone with Lina after she returned home. I explained to her in simple words that her father and I needed some time apart. She did not fully understand, but children feel emotions even when they do not know the reasons. Some nights she asked why Daniel was not sleeping at home anymore, and every time my heart broke a little more. Daniel continued trying to reach me. He sent flowers, long messages, and voice recordings filled with regret. Sometimes I almost answered, especially during lonely evenings when memories of our happy moments returned. I remembered our wedding day, the way he held my hand when Lina was born, and how he used to cook dinner when I was tired. Those memories fought against my pain. One evening, Daniel came to the house with flowers. His eyes looked red from crying. He asked for a chance to talk. I opened the door slightly but kept distance between us. He repeated that the kiss meant nothing and that he loved only me. I told him calmly that betrayal is not measured by time, but by choice. One kiss was enough to destroy trust. He cried openly, something I had rarely seen before. He said he did not want to lose his family. I replied that he lost us the moment he chose another woman over our marriage. He left the flowers near the door and walked away slowly. That night, sleep did not come easily. I lay awake, remembering our life together. I asked myself again and again if forgiveness was possible. Could I forget the image of him kissing someone else? Could I trust him when he went out again? My heart answered before my mind did. I was not ready. Days turned into months. I focused on building a peaceful life for Lina and myself. We created new routines. We cooked together, watched movies, and spent weekends visiting parks. Slowly, calm replaced chaos. I was not completely happy, but I felt safe. Daniel remained present as a father. He visited Lina regularly, helped with homework, and never missed her school events. Watching them together was complicated. I saw the loving father he was, yet I also remembered the husband who hurt me. About a year later, something began to change. Daniel stopped drinking alcohol. He respected my boundaries and never pressured me to reconcile. Instead of begging, he showed consistency. He arrived on time, spoke honestly, and accepted responsibility for his actions. One sunny afternoon, he arrived early to pick up Lina and helped clean the garden without being asked. After Lina went inside to play, he asked if we could talk. His voice sounded different, calmer, more mature. He told me he had spent the year reflecting on his mistakes. He had attended counseling sessions and worked to understand why he risked losing everything. He admitted that alcohol was not an excuse. The real problem, he said, was taking love for granted. I listened quietly. For the first time since the betrayal, I saw humility instead of fear. He did not promise perfection. He simply said he wanted another chance to rebuild trust slowly. I looked at Lina laughing in the sunlight, running across the garden with her doll. In that moment, I realized something important. Forgiveness is not forgetting pain. Forgiveness is choosing whether the future deserves another opportunity. My heart still remembered the hurt, but it also recognized growth. I told Daniel that forgiveness would not erase the past, yet I was willing to try again, not because I needed him, but because I believed people could truly change. His eyes filled with tears as he held my hands gently. When Lina ran toward us asking if we were happy again, I smiled and said yes. We were not perfect, but we were trying. Rebuilding our relationship took time. We communicated more honestly than ever before. We attended therapy together and learned to express fears instead of hiding them. Trust returned slowly, like sunlight after a long winter. Today, our family looks different from before. We understand that love alone is not enough. Respect, honesty, and responsibility are just as important. The mistake that once destroyed us also taught us how fragile relationships can be. Sometimes people judge quickly. Some say I should never have forgiven Daniel. Others say I was right to give him another chance. The truth is that every heart follows its own path. Only the person who feels the pain can decide when healing begins. Looking back, I realized that strength appears in many forms. Leaving required courage. Forgiving required courage too. Both choices were part of my journey toward peace. Now our home feels warm again. We laugh at dinner, help Lina with her homework, and appreciate small moments we once ignored. We know happiness is not guaranteed, so we protect it carefully. If my story teaches anything, it is this: people make mistakes, but real change requires actions, patience, and honesty. Sometimes love ends after betrayal, and sometimes love survives by becoming stronger than before. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, would you give a second chance, or would you walk away forever?